Everyone, and welcome to our regular session this evening. The first item on the agenda is roll call.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Alderwoman Bibbs,
Here.
Alderman Hartman,
Here.
Alderman Runyons,
Here.
Alderman Maloney,
Here.
Alderman Rousey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand for the pledge and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer for both our men and women and arms way as well as our public safety employees. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very, very much. You may be seated. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Taylor.
I move that the agenda be approved as printed.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the agenda has been approved. The next item is approval of the minutes from the regular session, April the 25th, 2023, as well as special session, May 2nd, 2023. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular session, April 25th, 2023, and our special session, May 2nd, 2023, as written.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the regular session minutes from April the 25th, 2023, and the special session, May 2nd, 2023, have been approved. The next items are words, presentation, organizational business, and this is a awesome week. This is the National Public Works Week, as well as we're recognizing Arbor Day. So we will do that momentarily. All right. And who's coming up for Public Works? A bunch coming up. That's good to hear. Especially after seeing those that fine equipment out there. Was pretty impressive by itself. So, and I think all the board had a chance to visit and so forth. So we appreciate you guys. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Grandview. And whereas those infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Grandview to gain knowledge and maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and the programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks 63 years of annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association and the Canadian Public Works Association in tandem. Now, therefore, I, Leonard D. Jones, Jr., the mayor of the city of Grandview, on behalf of the Board of Aldermen and the citizens of Grandview, do hereby designate the week of May 21st through the 27th, 2023, as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with their representatives of the American Public Works Association and the Canadian Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to be recognized the substantial contributions that they make to protect our national health, safety, and quality of life. Signed in the city of Grandview, Missouri, this 9th day of May, and also attested by our city clerk, Becky Schimble. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Absolutely. And why don't you introduce staff? I think some of the people have met staff, but be wise.
First of all, my name is Doug Wesselschmidt. I'm the Public Works Director. To my immediate left is Thomas Crafton. He is our fleet manager, so when we get newer equipment out there, it makes his job a little easier because we have some old stuff out there that he has to keep running. And then Christopher Gibson is our engineering inspector. His primary project right now is the mill and overlay program. Will Briscoe is our sewer superintendent, so he's responsible for the Vector truck. That's the second piece of equipment is one he's responsible for. And Ben Breachacek, he says it better than I do. Ben's our street superintendent, so one of his responsibilities is the street sweeping, and that was the first piece of equipment. So I'd also like to, for that equipment, thank our finance director because coming up with some creative financing and ARPA funds. We use ARPA funds to get that sweeper. So essentially, it was a free sweeper. So there was a well-needed piece of equipment. So that's my crew.
Awesome. And also, just so everybody knows, this is a lot of the same crews out there picking up trash on Mondays. So these guys, Dan and I have seen them on a number of occasions, and we appreciate also not only Public Works Week, but we appreciate that as well, all that you guys do. And the board would like to thank you as well. So, sir, thank you again. Good equipment. It is. Absolutely. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Awesome. But again, Public Works National Week. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I just said when you went through the line, many of you guys do more than one job. Doug did say one job, but you guys do some others. So we appreciate what you do. Thank you. Next we have is Arbor Day is coming up. And we got two or one. Who's coming? Jared? We got Mike is coming. Anybody else is coming? Jared and Mike. Okay. All right. Awesome. This is something that we have started many years ago, and we continue to do as Arbor Day. And we've got trees planted all over the city of Grandview and on behalf of Arbor Day, and who's been selected to be the recipient of Arbor Day. And it's great. Trees. And that event is coming up May 17th. So it's going to be a fun time again for us to go through the process. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Architecture and a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And I'm positive that Mackenzie knew that Arbor Day started in Nebraska, right? Right? You were aware of that, right? I did know. Yes, absolutely. She's a Nebraskan, and yes, it does start in Nebraska. Whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas this will be Grandview's 35th Arbor Day, and all citizens are encouraged to attend the city's Arbor Day event at the Tails and Trails Dog Park on May 17th, 2023. And whereas Grandview has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Leonard D. Jones, Mayor of the City of Grandview, hereby proclaim May 17, 2023 as Arbor Day in the city of Grandview, Missouri, and I urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and our woodlands and to support the city's forestry program. Signed, May 9, 2023, attested by Becky Schimble. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, and we appreciate all that you guys do. Now, I'm going to let Jared speak, but before Jared speaks, just so everybody knows, although Mike he's a quiet guy, he's good people, but he's also a good carpenter. So he has many talents as well, and he's done a lot of things for the View because of his skills. And we've got a couple other carpenters, right? We do. Exactly, that we've been blessed with, and a lot of good things happening. Jared.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you for making that proclamation for Arbor Day. Like you said, it's been 35 years, and we've been a Tree City USA for 35 years as well. And so we're always looking to try to plant trees and make our community green. So.
Awesome. Thank you. So May 17th, we will be planting a new tree or trees for Arbor Day. The next item is public comment. So if anyone would like to address the Board of Aldermen, please step up to the mic, state your name and address, and do sign in so that we will have record, and everybody has an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. So please step up to the mic after you speak. Becky has a sign-in sheet, and do sign in accordingly. The time is 7:13, and we declare public comment open. Anyone else would like to address the board?
Hi, my name is Andrea Retz, and I live at 13318 Parker Avenue. Been living in Grandview a little over a year, and you guys have been doing amazing things. There's actually a community of us on Facebook under Grandview Crime Watch, and I just wanted to come. I know a lot of other people could not attend, but they just wanted to know, sorry, I'm nervous, what we as citizens can do. I mean, we can't go all vigilante style and try to protect our neighborhoods, but with the uptick in violence and gunshots, it's just, I don't know, what you guys have been doing or, what citizens can do.
Great question. And that is something that, we do publish out on our website, that things that neighborhoods can do and groups can do. And Chief, is there anything in particular? I mean, we've got crime watch areas that you can, have signs put up and so forth. So there are a lot of things that we have been doing and are allowed to do per our website. And our chief of police is here as well. I don't know if there's anything else that can be added, sir?
First, thanks for your concern. I'm glad you're willing to get involved. Neighborhood Watch is great. On an individual level, just be a good witness and a good citizen. If you hear something or see something, let us know. And no, don't go all vigilante like you said. Let us do our job, but if you hear something or see something, give us a call. And we have a very good response time here in the city of Grandview. Our goal is to be more proactive, though, and stop it before it happens. But if something does happen, rest assured we'll get there in a hurry. So our actual violent crime this year is down, if that reassures you any. But nationwide, you're probably seeing a lot of negative media about some of the things going on. So it is a concern for us, too. But we'll keep fighting the good fight.
Yes. And I do have like one more thing.
Yes.
Because I know that Grandview hosts a whole bunch of different events and activities like Arbor Day. I would have never known about it if I hadn't gone on the website. I mean, is there anything else you guys do besides like posting on Facebook? I know we just had Harry Hay Days, but like even people commented on Facebook, they were like, I didn't even know that was going on. So I don't know if there's anything else additional we can do just to make sure that more of the community is making sure that they're joining these activities and they know when they're happening and, what's going to take place.
That's fantastic. Right now, the communications team is putting out an email every week. On that email every week, it shows what's going on for the week and the week after. So it's a great way that you automatically get it, and I just got it this evening. So let's make sure you put your email address on there, and you will get that information and another way to be informed. So yes, you can go to the website and pull things down, but this is a way that it comes directly to you.
Okay.
And Parks and Rec is the same way. They've got a weekly, is it weekly, Jared, that comes out, or monthly? Monthly. So they too have a monthly email that comes out telling you about all of the Parks and Rec's activities, including Arbor Day. So it's there, but that is also sent to you. So it's not something you have to pull. Yeah, you have to open it up, but at least it's available to you. So if you would leave your email address, we'll make sure we sign you up, and hopefully you can get others to do the same thing so that the entire area is well informed.
Yeah, definitely. And how would do they have to sign up here?
No.
Or how do they get their email to you guys?
Well, we'll make sure that the registration link is included because it's the link.
Okay.
You go through the link and voila, it tells you. And the only thing you need is your name and your email address.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
It's a very simple process.
And Mayor, if I may add, we also send the quarterly, we hear from our older non-internet user residents too. We also send out a quarterly newsletters
Okay.
in paper. On top, we always have a calendar at the City Hall too. And City Hall is literally open every day except Sundays.
Okay.
And if you are technology user, when you are friends with us, you'll hear from us. Yeah, sometimes it's annoying. You get pinged on a regular basis, but there are a million ways to connect with us.
Okay. Fabulous.
Another thing on your concerns about the crime and the gunshots. Sound like you are in Ward 2.
In war.
Ward. Well, anyway, one of your representatives up here, be sure to get their number or any alderman's number and call them for something suspicious, and they will start the ball rolling from there.
Okay.
And before you call the police and get them involved. Because we can, like I'm doing it myself right now at a home down the street from me. But what you can do is call them and let them get the ball started, and they'll start sending emails, maybe the mayor or the city administrator, and ensure courtesy copy to the police department or fireman. But getting a hold of your alderman first,
All right. Perfect.
and they'll be sure to help. They'll be glad to help you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for being interested. And do sign in right here. on the sheet so that we have contact information and can make sure that you are informed accordingly. Anyone else would like to address the Board of Aldermen at this point in time? I don't see anyone else, and I declare public comment closed at 7:20. There's no public hearings, and the next items is consent items. Is there a motion for consent items E through H? Alderman Maloney.
Motion to approve consent items E through H is printed and presented.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Taylor.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
I do have a question on
Yes.
Jamal, on the manager's, I guess it would be the purchasing manager's report. Larry Blair, berm grading for $9,970. That's for the dirt that was hauled in over at the shooting range. Is that right?
Doug, do you remember the name?
Yeah, Bear did the grading. The dirt was hauled in at no cost to the city, but we needed the Bear grading to come in and make the mound, smooth it out, pack it, and Jared Stewart did the seed.
So it just got seeded and it's going to go up in grass?
Seeded in March.
Okay. And that's nothing, we couldn't have done that grading ourselves then, Jamal?
Number one, it's equipment. Number two, know-how.
Okay, well,
Compacting is
When you presented it, you said we got free dirt, and then that kind of caught my attention.
yeah,
Free dirt went up to
you
about
did get it free dirt.
$10,000.
Dirt is very expensive.
Amen.
And you did get it, and from, like, technically, I was joking with staff about this. We kept Grandview soil in Grandview.
That's good.
That's all on that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes.
just a question on the employees handbook. Was
Can you get closer to the mic so we can hear you?
questions on the employees handbook. Was the employees consulted when this was put together? Not staff, but
We've been collecting information. I've been collecting it for the last few years since I've been here, and some of the information that's been in it has been from employees bringing up questions.
so we have had employees.
But we didn't
in-
have a meeting with the employees to get their input on the handbook, but we have taken their input and incorporated it into the handbook.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Mayor.
Yes.
I did have another question on the handbook. I went through that, and we discussed this, I think, in our work session, but the part about if somebody was leaving to go on a business trip over $2,000 or something, that had to be approved, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
Is there any way, and I'm throwing this out to the board, I think for me, if the board and the mayor had to get an approval for over $2,000 and travel like out of state or something, at least we would have a chance to ask questions on that. I mean, to include like Jamal and the board and the mayor. Is that proper to put that in the handbook?
I
Or
wouldn't
would
think
that-
so. You're not employees of the city, so we wouldn't address, how you handle your expenses.
So how would we handle that, Jamal?
So how you guys handle is, per se, you want to go to one of these conferences that are city business related. Otherwise, that won't qualify. Every single one of you sign off on those expenses for that one person, and eventually mayor signs off. Same thing applies to mayor too. You guys sign off on every one of you guys' travel.
But what I'm saying is, for transparency purposes, I think I would like to see that before. Everything I've signed is after the fact. Like Thomas went to DC, and I don't think anybody's gonna have any problem with that. But if we knew that before, I just think transparency purposes, they can't say, well, nobody's in charge. They just go where they want. I mean, you don't know what the public's going to say. And what would hurt if that just comes before the board and we have a question, okay, he's going to go to D.C. and come back and give us a little report or whatever. I don't think it's going to change anything
Sure.
other than be a policy where
Yeah.
we can say this is what, we're not just spending money that's not pre-approved.
Yep.
I just have a problem on approving it after the
Yep.
fact.
Yeah, but
You know,
no,
and it-
that's a good point.
And you probably, it probably was on my email or something. If I wanted to go, I could go or something. But sometimes I don't read that stuff too. So,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it's in a meeting before, and then it's approved by the board, I think it just keeps everybody in the clear.
That's a very good point. You guys can create a new process.
Jamal?
It's up to the group when it comes to how you guys treat these kind of travels. So if you guys want to change the process and you want to approve beforehand and after, that's up to you guys. We will make the changes accordingly.
Jamal, if I may, currently for every travel check you guys get, you get a per diem check, and we try to make sure that that's in the bill schedule unless it's a last minute trip that we weren't aware of. So with the bill schedule, you guys are seeing that before the person ever gets the check, so you are currently getting them in advance.
Well, but what Alderman Hartman is saying is this is not about the check, this is about the trip.
Yes.
Am I understanding you correctly? So if the group wants to approve or take a look at if A person or B person wants to travel beforehand, it's your call.
Well, I would prefer that.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's you guys' call.
if we can talk about that
We
in a
can
work
discuss
session
that.
or bring us back something and we can discuss that
Okay,
later.
happy to bring this back.
Okay.
But this is not employee.
This is not employee.
This is not
This
employee
has nothing
handbook.
to
I
do
just
with
want to
the-
make
yeah,
sure
this is
that
for
the
you guys.
conversation is totally different.
The other
than-
point. Thanks, Holly. The other point I was going to make is that if there is no budget for that line item, there is no travel too. So there are years where the budgets are tight. Those budgets are not there too. But I guess all I'm trying to tell you is on the number side, not only we approve it with the budget and also you see it in the purchasing report and everything else, but if this is about the relevance and the intent of the conference, that's your call.
Yeah, and like I say, it just, to me, it's a better system to doing it. You know, it would make me feel better to approve it before the money's spent. And I don't think it's going to change a thing, you know.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So. Look, one thing I keep saying, and I think we're very successful of doing it, because our surrounding communities are jealous of how we create opportunities and get money for a lot of things. This is roads, this is bridges, this is everything else. You need to be relevant. And if I learned one thing, and one thing only, from Joe Runyon's, is that politically you need to be relevant. And those conferences, those interactions with people, sometimes in return becomes federal state dollars, which we're going to talk about some state dollars.
Absolutely. Good. Anything else? Other than that, let's do a roll call, please.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Thank you
Okay,
very
everybody?
much. The next area is ordinances. Is there a motion for bill number 7695? Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7695, an ordinance authorizing a one-year extension to the user agency agreement with the City of Kansas City, Missouri for participation in the Metropolitan Area Regional Radio System and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Chief, we've got a good background report. Anything else you want to add?
No, it was basically a 2% escalator, so we went up $737.
Yep.
I said we, this is not just the PD, just so everyone knows that. This is all the radios for all the departments within the city, so Public Works, Community Development, all the mobiles, the ones in the cars and whatnot. So we take care of the ordinance and obviously the communication center downstairs, but it covers the entire city and all the departments.
Thank you. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye. Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7695 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7695, an ordinance authorizing a one-year extension to the user agency agreement with the City of Kansas City, Missouri for participation in the Metropolitan Area Regional Radio System and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Is any further discussion?
Mayor.
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
I was just curious, what did Kansas City vote on this year? Or had the council, what did they vote on?
You know,
What did the Kansas City council vote?
I'm not sure what you mean. Like they actually own and operate the entire system, so they're kind of the mothership.
Okay.
And this has been around for, well, the first agreement was in 2015, but even before then, they owned and operated the agreement. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's a big project. When they first got started, it was millions and millions of dollars to get it going. We're just one little spoke on. I mean, they call them PSAPs, so Public Safety Answering Point, a dispatch center, but they call them PSAPs. Every city has one, and we're all joined in as subscribers to Kansas City.
and Chief, why don't you also tell us, how many other cities that you are aware of personally that also do the same thing?
Oh, everyone you can think of in the
Everyone.
metropolitan area.
Absolutely.
And you see that number of 212 subscribers, that's what your
Yeah.
subscriber fee is based off of. So if you're Lee Summit and you're bigger than us, then their fee is going to be higher than ours.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7695 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I'll second that.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney. Ordinance number 7437.
So bill number 7695 has passed. Is now ordinance 7437. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
The next area is other business is the approval of a liquor license change of ownership. Is there a motion? Alderman Maloney.
Make a motion to do a liquor license change of ownership for full sales by drink or package and Sunday sales as an event venue submitted by owner and managing agent Jeremiah Gim, Main Street Events KC LLC, 724 Main Street.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Taylor.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The new owner, what do we know about the new owner?
We know a lot about the new owner. The new owner has been with the same company for 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
So we know a lot about the new owner. Yes, and now he is taken over a number of Kip Unruh's properties.
Oh, okay.
So he's getting, he has been like second in command, was CFO.
Mayor.
He was a CFO.
Mayor, he was also the managing agent for their liquor license
Yes.
since opening.
So, yes, we know a lot about him.
And he will now continue to be owner and managing
Yes.
agent.
So we will see more of him as we start to do more things on Main Street. Jeremiah we will hear from him.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good question.
Excellent.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the liquor license change of ownership has been approved. Next area is, again, other business. And let's start here on my right. Alderwoman Bibbs, any other business?
Just want to say that I got a lot of good feedback about Harry Haydays. A lot of family and friends came out, and they had a wonderful time.
Amen.
We appreciate that. Staff worked really hard.
Alderman Maloney.
I was just going to echo what Alderwoman Bibb said here. Staff worked great Friday and Saturday. I know my family had a great time, but it was great to see a lot of other families that I haven't got to see in a long time come out and do it. There was a number of families that wanted to come back just for that event. So it was kind of why I was here when I was a kid. I wanted to come back. So it's always great to come back and see how impressed they were with the community. So Main Street, I think, looked wonderful, all the plants and all the hard work that kind of went into that. But I know there's a lot of moving parts, but one of my favorite things was I know that the kids zone, like the feeding of the animals and different things, the city either incurred the cost of that, got a sponsorship, did something, and that was such a huge blessing for every kid that wanted to feed an animal could go feed an animal. They didn't have to worry about it being money or not. So that was such a nice thing to see, just because I I never want that to be a barrier from a kid having that experience. So thank you so much for, doing all the hard work to get the sponsorships and make that happen.
Well, as a matter of fact, staff had more sponsorship this year than we've ever had. And it was, I mean, we had, you're talking about having headliners. We had, NNSA and J.E. Dunn. I mean, we had some headliners. So it was good. It was helpful. I'm not going to ask what the final tally of cost is, but it was very good.
$10,000.
Absolutely. So.
And Mayor, we appreciate these comments. Look, I won't sugarcoat this. Public Works, Police Department, Fire Department, especially Parks and Rec, worked long hours. Some of our employees, especially in Parks and Rec, were here 5:30 Saturday, 11 o'clock on Friday at night. And the sponsorships, there were a few phone calls made, but full credit goes to Jared and the team.
What was our final count of sponsorships?
Dollar-wise,
Our final count of how many sponsorships we had?
the major ones, about 6 or 7.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying that there were others, it didn't come in as $, but it came in like fireworks. As you all know, fireworks are not cheap. And our fireworks display, and I know I got complaints from a few of our neighbors because they didn't want to hear the fireworks. But it's, Winco really has been taking care of the city's events with the fireworks, and it wasn't a 10-minute fireworks.
It was pretty impressive. It really was. So, good. Alderman Hardman?
Yeah, I've got to chime in with
Yep.
John and Debbie and everybody on the Harry Hay days. I've had people, couple people come up and say they really appreciated the free things that the kids could do. Didn't know the face painting was free, but they said it was. If I'd have known it, maybe I'd have got my face painted. While I was there.
Maybe you
Probably
need
wouldn't
it.
pay for it, but if I'd have known it,
I'm going to remind you next year.
I might be out of
And
town.
I'll escort you.
Might be out of town
Yeah,
next year. as
I'll
well. No,
escort
but I mean all of the staff. I mean Jared, the Parks Department, the guys picking up the trash, the Police Department, Fire Department, everybody. I mean, it seemed like it was just everything went together so nicely, and I don't think we had any trouble. I mean, at all. Was there, Chief? Probably nothing. And it just seemed like a good time, especially for the kids and the people with there. Debbie, we kind of hung around and got some barbecue up there, and all the food was great too. The food trucks, and I hope they did well. I hope they'll be back, but I thought everything was great.
We'll know what normally we do with staff is that we get together and get feedback. Everybody takes notes and they're responsible for different functionalities and what have you. And I get to buy the pizza for them, obviously, but there are a few things that we can improve, and we're going to continue improving this. And I hope that they made money so that we don't have to call them next year and they call us, at least half of them, because Lewis worked his tail off. Month prior, we only had 40. In a month, we went over 90, and we had a waiting list. I ran out of square footage. Some of our local businesses got mad because they couldn't get the spot that they want and what have you. That's a good problem to have.
Amen. Joe, anything?
A couple of things, or 3. Everything I thought was great. Parade was great. A lot of activity, a lot of food.
I was a little worried about your seating arrangements, especially in the parade.
I looked good, didn't I?
Yeah, you look great. Little dangerous. Little dangerous.
No, this is the second time I've done that.
Okay.
And that one, I've done it. We got some others several years ago. We all rode in convertibles. So, Representative Ely was able to secure $300,000 for some
I'm going
improvements.
to talk about it when
Main
it's my
Street.
turn. Yeah.
And I talked to him Friday afternoon. We talked for a little while. We were both in a noisy place, but we couldn't hear each other. But as long as the governor don't line veto it, it's passed. That's
Let-
always a
let's don't
possibility,
start
but
rumors. We
we
need
can
that one vote.
override that back in
Yeah, we need
September.
that one signature. But I'll talk about it, what this is and what this is not.
The other thing, I know we were short firefighters Friday and again Sunday, and update of what's going on, because it's getting serious. I know we have a lot of people working 3 or 4 shifts in a row, which is not good for their health
Absolutely.
or their families or the city. So we need some information on what's happening, because
Absolutely.
it's not.
I have Chief here to give you an update. I jot down some notes, and I'm aware that you guys got text messages, phone calls, and what have you. I feel like this is the best spot we have ever been for the last 4 months, and especially within the last month and a half since you guys approved the new contract with the STEP plan and everything else. In the meantime, within the last 2-3 weeks, we hired 8. They are on our payroll. We got 4 more coming. And I'll let Chief, what else is happening? We have a lot coming in pipeline. And I will tell you this too. I don't remember a day, my tenure is 5 years at this point with the city as a city manager and combined 9 years. I don't remember a period of time that we were able to secure 12 firefighters in a month period. So help is on the way. And we have more to come, but Chief is here to address.
Yeah, but I think last week we were still 14 short.
24. You're right. You're right. And we got a few more and a few more starting June.
And I think we need to look down the road, which we should have done years ago. We probably need to be around 15 per shift. With the growth that this city has, we've got all this new industry sitting out there on bots, and it could take a lot of help if we need it. But I think there was a studies done back in 2008 or 9 that said city our size at that time should have at least 15 on a shift.
Yeah, I remember more recent study. As a matter of fact, this one looked into, if you guys remember, you guys wanted to do this at one point, or majority of you, consolidation, combining all these fire departments under one umbrella kind of study. And that study said we are sufficiently staffed per shift, but we'll find that 2008 study. I wasn't here. I'm not aware of it, but if it exists, we'll find it.
Chief, give us an update.
We have 8 new hires starting on Monday. That includes one that we sent out an offer letter to today. He's National Guard. He's really a good guy. So we have 8 starting on. We have 8 starting on Monday. Then I offered a job to a paramedic today. She will be starting on the 12th of June. I spent about 5 hours a day between traveling from here to Chillicothe and back to make some more, do some more recruiting. I handed out one job application there and another guy was kind of interested. So I'm hoping the one does come through. We also have another gentleman starting in August. And then we have another one in the books that will become a paramedic December. I'm going to try to get him on the books early so that he'll be working as an EMT. That'll help with the transition and speed him onto becoming a paramedic on the ambulances.
So pipeline. We got a pipeline going.
We have a huge pipeline going. Like Jamal said, the number of people we're bringing on, we've never done it before. Not even right after the public safety sales tax. We brought on 6. We've got 8 starting on Monday.
And the other thing, I want to give full credit to Chief Baldwin here. He's doing Ullman's work, and he's hustling from not only different jurisdictions. Now that we were able to convince the our Local 42 union with regards to lateral, we're reaching out to some of these folks who worked for us 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and what have you, to see if they want to come back. So laterals are very important, and it was a big win on our part to be able to reach out. And same year of tenure in Raytown, directly goes into the crew.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything else? Alderman Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Nothing? Alderman Rousey?
Well, I want to just express my gratitude to the staff for Harry's heyday. Chief, don't go nowhere yet. And everybody I talked to, everybody who came up and talked to me, said it was the best one seen in a while. You know, ever since after COVID, you know, they did a great job. The staff was out there pushing everybody, having a great time. One lady said, "Never get rid of Lewis."
Well, Alderman Rousey, you're on a public domain. We can't say things like that.
I was like,
You know, we run an HR department. There's a law department. We can't say things like
I
that.
said, "What do you want me to do?" Yeah, but
Email compliment the employee, not publicly put us in a bind.
but he did. He worked hard. He really worked hard. I
I'm
mean,
aware.
getting 90 vendors.
He's gonna get 2 slices of pizza. I got it.
Well, she told me to make sure he had his one day of glory.
Oh, it's pretty common. Those employees who look, these are the McKinseys of the world and
Right.
Lewis of the world. They volunteered their time. Some were overtime, but some, those of us, we volunteered our time.
Right.
And for that, we're eternally thankful to those individuals, and the culture that we have allows that to happen. You know, they didn't have to be there.
One thing I have for the chief, when you get a person who's going through the fire academy, how long does it take him, once he starts the fire academy, to go through it and come back all the way out to be a firefighter?
Actually, the people we've hired that are in the fire academy, they're at the tail end of the fire academy. And the other thing is, with this hiring, no other department's done it. When we started doing this program, we did it kind of like speed dating, right? We had these guys come in for 15 or 20 minutes and interviewed them. We got the cream of the crop from that class because they weren't expecting it, and we offered those guys jobs. We did it incrementally so that I could get them all processed in time, but it's never been seen. I've had several comments from other area fire chiefs that were just amazed. They're like, "What are you doing? Taking all the good guys?" And we got them all. We got all the best ones. There was a few that turned us down that wanted to do some different things that just wanted the interview process. But overall, the academy does take about 8 months. That's with firefighter 1, hazmat ops, hazmat awareness, and their EMT basic.
Okay.
So it does take some time, but we got them towards the end. So it will get them onboarded and in seats as quickly as we can.
Now, are you starting to look toward the future? Because you know eventually some of these guys, older guys, are going to start retiring.
They have been.
And that happens everywhere, you know. They're going to join my ranks. So
this is something, this technique that we did is something that did bear fruit, and we will continue doing it, as well as our retention efforts by going out to the different schools like Center. I've been working with Center High School because they want to start a firefighter program there like Fort Osage has. Lori Hewitt with Prep KC even offered a part-time position to any of our people or people that we know, that I may know, that may be interested in working with them to get a first responders course going. So I go out to the high schools, and as soon as we get more people, I'll start integrating more of the new hires, because out of the mouth of the babes comes the truth, right? Those young people are the best salesmen we can get by having them come out and tell how good of a place this is to work. And really, we have a good place. I mean, we saw it at Harry's Heyday. You guys probably saw my new hires out there. Those are a couple of my new hires, and they were smiling. Those I call them kids. I apologize for calling them kids. But they were so excited to be able to go out and hand out stickers and just represent. And they were all proud to be able to wear the Grandview patch out there. So.
And we promise they're older than 18. Not look.
They don't look it.
You know, I got to be honest with you, Chief. Every time I look at you, speed dating is, you know, it's going to be rough. Have that picture, you know, in my mind, like, wow, okay. You know, the other thing on Harry Heydays I thought was pretty awesome was Handsome Harry. I think Aaron, you know, did an awesome job. Not only, you know, we did well having sponsors to actually provide gifts and so forth, and I think this is just the beginning. You know, we're starting to see a lot more excitement in that. Dr. Abby, right down the street, Snyder, she was like, you know, this is encouraging to see how this is starting to grow. And she was happy to be a part of the judging for Handsome Harry just to be there. And you know, President of Wayside's Wait, Catherine Mahoney, said the same thing. It's like, you know, this is starting to head in a very good direction. So, you know, thumbs up there. Real quick, like, we had Congressman Cleaver in town last week, and he thoroughly enjoyed Main Street and what's going on in Grandview. Again, he's more than willing to help us when we say we need help. And Jamal, you still have that on the calendar. As time goes on, we'll do that. Hopefully you already have this on your calendars, but Senator Razor is coming for our town hall on May 24th. And on May 25th, we have the Mayor's Blood Drive that is going on. And I don't know how many spots we have, Chief, you know.
There's a total of 40 spots available. I got the first one.
Okay, well, I know I got one, so not a
I
problem.
got one too.
So
good. That means the answer is 37.
Yeah. So we definitely need to get the word out, because I'm still getting email messages from the blood center saying, you know, community blood bank, you know, we definitely need donations, and it is not getting any easier. So, Chief, anything you have for us?
Well, two things, Mayor. One is some of you guys have been following this landfill, the Senate bill. It didn't fail. It was filibustered. Alderman Maloney was asking me about this in our bi-monthly. So my understanding is that 3 senators stood up and took 4 hours, and they ran out of time, and the bill did not even get a chance to pass. So technically, they're going to have to wait till January to reintroduce this. So that's a sad story in a way, but I still don't see a whole lot of support for a landfill in Raymore or right at the border of Lee Summit and or Grandview. So that is going to be a lot of political maneuvering on all ends. The other one is Alderman Runyon's mentioned it. So this started with a conversation with Representative Ely. And that conversation became a meeting. And in that meeting, the question was, if I were to put all my effort into one area, what area that would be. I don't think we have ever gotten a direct allocation from a state budget. Not only clear the House, now it cleared the Senate. It's $300,000. It's not a chop change. It's a lot of money. And this is for the downtown. This is for the historic part of downtown. As you know, with the bonds, we allocated $1 million. So we're trying to grow that money because downtowns are the hearts of any towns. As your downtown looks good, you send a different signal to the universe, and you get a lot more growth, a lot more visibility. I want to point out one thing about this. This is not a done deal. Governor still needs to sign off on this. And as I understand this, there is some pulling and pushing happening as we speak. We'll wait and see. We're really close. I would call this a 90 percentile, but there still is 10%, and the governors can strike things too. So we'll wait and see if this $300,000, and Chamber helped us tremendously. In this $300,000, we're going to carve out some dollars for them to do some surveys with the businesses and what have you. I hope we get to that point. That would be an exciting time for the Main Street and the businesses that are representing the Main Street.
Why don't you give us that update about the Main Street group? You know, since
Sure.
Because I think the board needs to know
definitely
what
good point,
direction
Mayor.
we're going.
Good point. Some of you guys were in that email chain that Kip Unruh, who was a longtime big supporter of Grandview, who owned a bunch of businesses and or buildings in our town. He is quietly but surely exiting. He still owns some properties, but majority of his stakes either has been sold or handed over to the next folks who are in charge in his administration. Jeremiah is one of them. So he was, prior to COVID that year, the president of Main Street Group. As you know, for a little while they were active. They've been dormant for prior to COVID 2-3 years. We reignite that. Kip took over as the president. He is handing over the torch to housewife Anna Mayor, what's the last name? I can't.
S-O-R-G-E.
Sorge?
Yeah. Sor.
Okay,
S-O-R-G-E.
all these pronunciations. So she is going to be the president, and she's got a lot of good ideas. It regards participation. This is not only the businesses, but the residents needs to participate, especially in that two blocks, one direction, two blocks the other direction. We have a lot of potential. We want to harvest every bit of it. And as the new restaurants, new coffee shops, new barbecue shop opening, we're going to have a new element, new synergy coming. But new administration is coming for that organization too.
Thank you, sir. Just want to make sure everybody had an update. Yes.
A couple of comments. During my 8 years down in Jeff City, we didn't have any money. We were cutting budgets. It's great that Anthony get that money. The landfill, that's sitting on 3 other bills right now that could slide through. The other thing, there was 2 filibusters. I don't know if everybody knew that there was 2. Mary Elizabeth Coleman from Jefferson County, she's the one that filibustered for 4 hours on Wednesday to delay it because she didn't want it. She thought we were doing stuff wrong. And I'm not a fan of Bratton, but he did the right thing by bringing it back and saying we were wronged. So it's still a possibility. There's 3 other bills. If it's buried somewhere and it's something that both sides of the House down there and the Senate agree on it, it could pass. So
we're hopeful.
It's not completely dead.
Yeah.
It's not even completely dead in the Senate. You know, no telling. It's nothing like here, believe me.
Oh,
Things change
I'm
by
aware.
the minute, not by the hour, by the minute.
Yeah.
So keep your hopes up.
My hopes are up. Those of you who do not know, my middle name is Umut, and it means hope in Turkish. So I'm always with that. But when it comes to this late of the game, there's 1 week left, thereabout,
Well,
for the session.
3 days.
Yep. So, well, the other last thing is that we have morning connections at 8 o'clock at the library. So you're available. We'll have morning connections, and we will proceed from there. It is 7:57. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Maloney. Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mayor.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we are officially adjourned at 7:57.
Here come the rain.
My granddaughter.